torrent of darkness among the ghastly trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon just upon the clouded seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor. The highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The highwayman came riding up to the olden door. He'd a French cocked hat at his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a cord of claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with never a wrinkle, his boots were up to thigh, and he rode with his jewel at a twinkle, his pistol buds a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle under the jeweled sky. And over the cobbles he clattered and clashed in the darkened yard, and he tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter? There's the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. One kiss, my bonny sweetheart, I'm after a prize tonight, and I shall be back with the yellow gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply and harry me through the day, then look for me by the moonlight, watch for me by the moonlight. I'll come to thee by the moonlight, though hell shall bar the way. He rose upright in the stirrups, he scarce could reach a hand. She loosened her hair in the casement, her face burned like a brand, as the black cascade and the perfume came tumbling over his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight, oh sweet waves in the moonlight. He tugged at his rein in the moonlight and galloped away to the west. He did not come at the dawning, he did not come at noon, and out of the tawny sunset, before the rise of the moon, when the road was a gypsy's ribbon, looping the purple moor, a red-coat troop came marching, marching, marching. King George's men came marching up to the olden door. They said no word to the landlord, they drank his ale instead. They gagged his daughter and bound her to the foot of a narrow bed. Two of them knelt at a casement with muskets at their side. There was death at every window, hell at one dark window, for Bess could see through the casement the road that he would ride. They tied her up to attention with many a snickering jest. They bound a musket beside her with a barrel beneath her breast. Now keep good watch, and they kissed her. She heard the dead man say, look for me by the moonlight, watch for me by the moonlight. I'll come to thee by the moonlight, though hell shall bar the way. She twisted her hands behind her, but all the knots held good. She writhed her hands till her fingers were wet with sweat of blood. They stretched and strained in the darkness, the hours grew by like years, till now on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of a finger touched it, the trigger at least was hers. Tot-a-lot, had they heard it, the horses' hooves ring clear. Tot-a-lot, in the distance, were they deaf they did not hear. Down the ribbon of moonlight, over the brow of the hill, the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The red course looked to the priming, she stood up straight and still. Toddle-lod in the frosty silence, toddle-lod in the echoing night. Nearer came nearer, her face was like a light. Her eyes grew wide for a moment, she drew one last deep breath. Then her finger moved in the moonlight, her musket shattered the moonlight, shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death. He turned, he spurred to the west, he did not know she stood, bowed with her head over musket, drenched in her own red blood. Not till the dawn had he heard it, his face grew grey to hear how bears the landlord's daughter, the landlord's black-eyed daughter, watched for her love in the moonlight and died in the darkness lit. And back he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with a white road smoking behind him and his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs in the golden noon, wine red was his velvet coat. When they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway, and he lay in his blood on the highway, a bunch of lace at his throat. Still on a winter's night, they say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a ghostly galleon just upon the clouded seas, when the road is a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, the highwayman comes riding, riding, riding. The highwayman comes riding up to the olden